Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, let's talk about the double standard. You got Hillary Clinton and her problems. I know it's funny, but, I mean, it's sad on the other side. You almost feel sorry for Karine Jean-Pierre. She can't answer. But then you got Joe Biden, and then you got a raid at Mar-a-Lago. I want to talk about the double standard and the lack of equal justice under the law, equal application of our laws.
Well, Sean, this past week has been the worst week for the Biden White House since the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, since the murder of 13 servicemen and women. The White House hasn't had as bad a week as they've had. They've had incompetence, they've had scandal, they've had corruption, they've had dishonesty, and they've had hypocrisy. And all of that has been on display in the past week. You know, when we saw Merrick Garland stand up and appoint a special counsel to investigate Joe Biden, I joked on my podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz, that Merrick Garland was like a hostage video. He was blinking out SOS because he was so unhappy. And he was forced to do it. He had no choice but appoint a special counsel, given the utter hypocrisy in going after Trump. And it was discovered that Biden had classified documents, not in one place, not in two places, not in three places, but 4 and 5. He had him stuck by his Corvette. He had him stuck in a room by the garage. He had him in the Penn Center. He had him in the residence. You got to wonder where Joe Biden didn't have classified documents. And all of his preening about irresponsibility, he's either being dishonest or incompetent, but what's clear is he's sending Karine Jean-Pierre out there to dissemble, to mislead, to say things that are factually false, and day after day she stands up and says falsehoods from that podium, and I think it's only going to get worse.
Senator, where's the raid? They raided Mar-a-Lago, and also they knew about this on November 2nd. The midterm election was November the 8th. Why didn't they tell the American people the truth, considering it would have impacted the election and the people of this country had a right to know?
Because this administration is corrupt and it's dishonest. You're right. They knew about it November 2nd. The archives knew about it. The Department of Justice knew about it. Now, we've learned the Biden Department of Justice leaks like a sieve when it's against Donald Trump. We see photographs of the raid. We all see all sorts of leaks when it's politically advantageous. And yet in this instance, 6 days before the election, miraculously, DOJ was slammed tight like a trap. They were not going to leak it because they want Democrats to win. And I think one of the very worst legacies of Joe Biden has been the deep corruption of the Department of Justice and of the FBI. Why didn't the FBI raid Joe Biden's Delaware home? Why didn't they raid the Penn Center? Why did they just trust the lawyers? Hey, you guys look around, see what's there. Because it is a patently double standard. And I will say this. I think the White House is not really concerned about legal exposure. Merrick Garland appointed as a special counsel someone who had been the right hand to Rod Rosenstein, who had been the right hand to Chris Wray. I think they believe this special counsel is going to give him a slap on the wrist, slap it under the rug, and be done with it. They're not really worried, I think, about facing an indictment. Here's what they are worried about. Merrick Garland and the Biden White House wanted to indict Donald J. Trump. They wanted to indict him for Mar-a-Lago, and suddenly they're in a world of hurt politically. Because if they bring that indictment, even someone who's been asleep under a log for 100 years will wake up and say, wait a second, why do you indict that guy for doing the same thing the other guy did? That's their problem, and it's why they're so dismayed.
Well, you know, they're going to indict him for, you can indict a ham sandwich. They'll find some reason if they can. Senator Ted Cruz, thank you as always for being with us. We appreciate it.